the first thing is first. I think you're easy fix. Like I'm a firm believer that your kick side, which is your right shoulder, that should be like in the direction of the spot, which it looks like it is. I think your center
Yep.
line, your center line should kind of be a few inches away from the spot. And then your left
Hmm.
foot should be about a few inches away from that. Like I'll show you on the presentation what I think it exactly should be. But basically, two of your feet together, like this heel's here and this heel's here. The width of those 2 feet together is where I draw this little box. It's probably like this tight right here. And
Yep.
I think you're flirting outside of my box. And I'll
Yep.
explain. It all relates. It's hard to just. I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just going to tell you that. So first things first. I think that the center of this foot should be going closer to where I want you. And because I
Like
think
don't scoot
honestly,
downfield.
well, look. I mean, if I just everything gets worse as you get further away. It's exponential,
Yep.
right? So it's
Yep.
probably here. You agree?
Yes, sir.
So how much easier it would be just to get linear? If I could just think linear, because you do a fantastic job. However, it's fighting it here. But this
Yeah.
saves it, I imagine, because it's countering. So you're going to end
Hmm.
up just wide, in my opinion. Um, but overall, good. I think that would fix everything. If that could just be in a little bit. But let's see how you. Who knows? You could pivot here. I forgot. I've seen this twice. I think. No, you don't. So you're true, but you kind of lead with that heel, which keeps you kind of on that plant line. But no, in my opinion, look, if you just do this a few times, that is most definitely going like here. So
Yep.
you're gonna find a way from here, right? Physics, we have to. You're finding a way from here to do this. So it does
Yes.
it does some tricky stuff. I think that's probably why you have a vertical drive step, which we'll talk about right now. There's the passing of the feet. I think at this point it should stay true. Like that right foot should pass true to the spot. I think that you go deviate kind of towards the holder a little bit, right? Like,
That's what I was. Yep.
right? You flirt with the holder, but you fix it, man. Like you're a good kicker. You wouldn't be kicking at your level if you couldn't adjust, and you do. My point is, over time, you can adjust and be way better. You feel
Hmm.
me? Like so.
Yep.
Anyway, you do adjust because now the pass happens again. Left pass is right, and now you're really trying to get closer to the ball, right? And you
Yep.
do, but do you agree that that's pretty far?
Yeah. My plan's far from the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I love your backswing. Like you pull from the glute, which I like. Like when you come off this drive step, a lot of kids will just bring that heel up like a scorpion. But
Yeah.
you see how you pull from the glute, then you go to the hamstring, and then it flows to that like shin, and then you have what I call like parallel to the floor backswing. You don't overdo it,
Yeah.
right? And right here, if you look, this is excellent. Your torso, your shoulders are parallel to the floor, and your torso, as long as it closes.
Hmm.
I always say, that right kick side shoulder should kind of close at the same time the foot meets the ball, and you're going to see yours doesn't, but most don't. It's just the aspiring to do so. Now, because you're so wide, watch what happens to your plant side left hip, right? See how you're linear right here? I like your plant side here. Watch what
Yep.
happens. Watch what happens. There's a bow. See how it goes out? You
Yeah.
see how your lower half is perfect, it's angular, but
Yep.
your torso is vertical. That is a power leak, man. And it also it has adverse effects on that right hip staying open right there. Do you see?
Yeah.
Your
Yep.
right hip, I don't give it. It's going to take longer, I should say. I don't care as much that your right shoulder is open at the point of contact, which is, I'm not going to do a good job of getting right at it, but right around there. Do you agree that that right hip should be a little more to target by this point?
Yes.
Okay. So look what you do again. This is why you're good. This is why you have a job at Division One. If you look at your foot placement, this we could go back to soccer on. You are saving. It's your technique is not up top here. It's hurting you up top. However, your foot placement down low, your athleticism is going to let this ball hopefully go in. You know,
Yep. Yep.
but you're probably going to have a draw, right? Or it's it's going to be a sharp left
Yeah.
action reaction. See, yeah, so it's well struck. I mean, your power is there, but all I'm saying, and I know that sounded like super complicated. You probably never heard someone be that ridiculous about it, but simply put, everything I said was trying to simplify all this. I think
Yeah.
you're doing more than you need to, right?
Hmm.
And less is better. I know that's cliche, but it's true. Another thing, just kind of look at the feet here. Do you see the flow of the feet? It's going to the holder. I want it to
Yeah.
just flow linear, and just and guide that left toe to box. You know.
All right.
Um, is there one more you want to see? Because I still want to show you.
There should be one in game. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I have one game I recall. It's hard as heck to see from that far away, but we can give it a go. I love your distance there. Oh, it must be the middle one. Hold on. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
these are the end game is hard to watch, really.
It really is. It's
Or like hard
unfortunate.
to see little things.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty. Like this is a beautiful picture, right? Like I want to see the whole like operation, but from technical standpoint, let's watch your. Ooh, you're more conservative in a game, aren't you? See that, brother? And this is what I like about you too. You probably went to those 5-star showcase camps and were your best when there were good kids around and there were people around with an opinion, right? Because
Yeah.
how much more effective and how much smaller and how linear are you on your backside here? You look so in control. And you know where I see it? It's the if you lose too much natural height right here. You see how you kind of it's a hard example because you're not losing a lot of natural height. You might lose an inch right here.
Yeah.
But it's when you take that step that we just went over, you take another 12 inches of that jab, you're going to lose some natural height and then hopefully recover later with it. But I'd rather you just be
Yeah.
here. So that's excellent. Right shoulder still, it's going to the spot. Love it. I love the way you're dressing the ball here. So there's the flow. Flow to the, that's huge. We're almost backside target line here. If I put that camera in between that numbers 1-7,
Yeah.
you would, it's a drastic flow. So then you now have to action reaction says if I go this way, I'm going to go hard left. I'm going to have a wide
Yep.
plant. I'm going to have a wide plant. Most definitely. But you know what you do? You have great shoulders. You really do. You stay very parallel. Man, it's just a slightly hard left hip, but here's my point, and I think it'll all connect right here. Imagine if that left foot was closer. Let's just say 3-4 inches closer, which is pretty simple
Hmm.
adjustment over time. Do you see how it fixes that left hip from being bowed out and it makes the plant side more linear?
Yeah, it'd be more straight up.
Absolutely. And then it's just a matter of course, closing the door. Like closing that kick side to where you're on time, and
Yeah.
that's a feel thing. I don't need to coach that up. I like to coach up what happens prior to ball contact because I think it has a major effect, and I think not enough people talk about it. And I'm just looking right here. I know it's like really grainy, but
Yeah.
this is excellent, bro. You know what I like about this? This is one of the hardest things to coach, but you do it already. So this is going to be super easy. Is look at your knees and how there's not a huge gap in them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm at the height of your backswing right here, and you would be shocked. And I would not give this away. I mean, I'm going to post it, but people are idiots and they don't watch things. That's
Yeah.
That's exceptional. You got to think about anything that anyone does powerfully in sports. They're together, like they're LeBron James dunking.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a wide base. When you're lifting, I mean, you have a wider base than what I'm referring to, but you get my point. You see
Yeah.
volleyball players are together before they explode. And in my opinion, that's what we're trying to do there. We're trying to not go up, but we're most definitely trying to go out and be
Hmm.
effective on the downswing. So I just want to go over because a lot of people see those like lean drills and they're like, yeah, freaking I see it, but I don't know what the hell is going on. And I
Yeah.
want to.
See, I've like tried to just do it by myself, but I don't get it, so I don't want to like mess with something and not
No,
know what
I
I'm doing.
agree. I honestly, that's good feedback, bro. And like, I'm always all ears for like, if you have like an issue that we maybe haven't addressed before, or you're
Hmm.
like, yo, man, you never talk about this. I'd love for you to think of new problems
Hmm.
because I'm literally I'm not out of things to do, but I don't know. I'm sick of talking about. I want to talk about more stuff. I know there's more things, and I learned through you guys' issues, right?
Hmm.
So like, I think this is a good angle for you. and because we talked
Yeah.
about this a lot. So this is the same angle as this, pretty much.
Yep.
Like we
Yep.
just this is front side, quarterback side. But you see the foot position. You see
Yeah.
how that looks more realistic to like he's going to kick a football. Because
Yeah.
when
Right there.
and I'm telling you, Matt Wright's a good kicker, but he fucks up here, and I want to show you. I mean, he recovers well, but here's the mess up. You don't have this issue, but you see how high he goes, and then
Yeah.
that's
So he's striking down.
yeah, and then here's the downswing, and look, see how he's coming down like a punter ish, but then watch the last second he finds a way, but toes up, right?
Yeah.
And you see,
Yeah.
that, and I've seen ground in your stuff a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
even the good balls. Like you hit a ball, you hit the ground and still hit the ball like 58, 65
Yeah.
something yards. Like you can
Yeah.
crush. But my opinion of that is the vertical torso. Look at his vertical
Mm-hmm.
torso, right?
Yeah.
So a coaching point I would make here on this drill for him if I was with him is, let me pause it real quick. I'm gonna try to freeze it right there. Is you got to have a bent arm because you have a bent arm when you kick. I try to simulate everything down to the fingertips. I don't want you to have a
Yeah.
straight arm. So what I would do is increase his distance point here. You got to find whatever your distance is here that's going to enable like a true what your lean looks like at your moment. I call it your moment, like your best struck balls when it counts. I want to
Yep.
know what your plant side looks like, right? And you just simulate that. So like everyone's different. Once you find that, and that's why I just stress that, is that's the only thing you really need to find to then do my lines. And my lines are this is the start of the drill. We do a backside target, we do a backside plant, and then I do this is your right shoulder line, right? To the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
This is your left plant line we talked about. I think you kind of invite this behavior. You get back to here right now, but I
Yeah.
want you here. Because you see
Mm-hmm.
what it keeps that together. And then we talked about it. It enables your plant, you get what I'm saying, your plant line to go.
Yeah.
So I like the front side too, and I'll just show you real quick why. The only thing different is you can see something pretty cool. Right? And he does it. That's why I put it in here. You don't do this probably. When you see on the downswing, there's the height. When that knee starts coming, downswing. Do you see how I see the shin, the tib fib? See the
Yeah.
foot? It should be hidden. It should
Yeah.
be, if you're linear, if you're staying and look at this mouse, if you're staying in this channel, that's what you just said. You said, Matt's got a major, major downswing going on here. And it's when he leaves the channel, right? You see that? See how you.
Yeah. The thing is, when I noticed that, I didn't point it out because I didn't know if that was a thing, but I saw his leg come up and then come out. I think he's correct. Like it's coming, like, I don't know, roundish or something.
He still does it too, bro. Like he's just a freak. I mean, he's a good kicker, but
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know if he'll make it on Sunday, just in all honesty, because of it's just that little. I think he needs to correct it, and he's confident. This is a same issue, but I just did the same issue, but now this is on the backside target line,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I really like that. This is, Kyra is probably my favorite student I've ever had. Just I've had him very long time. I like a lot of what's going on here. Like it's not perfect, but I'm a firm believer that, he's a little springy. Like I almost want to look like we're flat footed right there at that drive step. Right. Because I think we'll crash, and I think he went way too deep here, but he's sick. It's weird, man. It's freakish. He can like see his plant and then adjust his foot positioning. He'll tell me like, yeah, I saw I was too deep there, so I just brought the heel and drove it. But what I like is that I like this, like he is perfectly parallel. And as soon as he gets parallel right there, do you see the knee driving?
Yep.
And his plant side's pretty damn good, like, and this is I don't know where this is dead center, I think. So yeah, so it's not, I wish it was a right hash. I wanted to see what he did, but
So that would explain to me. So watching one of your videos and talking to Louis for my one steps, I started putting my foot like more out, how we were talking about at ball contact. And I hit my one steps extremely smooth, like perfect rotation, everything. So that would explain to me so much why my one steps are very clean versus
yeah,
why my full steps I tend to do whatever.
I'd
If
love
my
to,
drive
man.
set's more like this instead of how you were saying ball contact.
If I sent you this, because what I'm trying to say is, and I know we're in season, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really want to do a lot. I'll be honest, man. I wanted to meet you,
Mhm.
and I think if something becomes like a major problem, I definitely would like to be a resource. I'd give you my thoughts for sure because I just want you to think simple. I want you to eliminate tendencies through realizing that, oh, it's probably just something excessive. I'm probably already doing the right thing, but I'm overdoing it, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
that's the line of thinking I would talk about during season. I don't want you to do anything different right now, but I do want you to be aware that, yeah, like if you could progressively get your plant foot a little closer to the ball, you're going to be an even better ball striker. Like
Mhm.
it's not even close. Like, where do you honestly think you hit the ball on your foot? I'm going to stop sharing. Well, no, I'll keep it on for a sec. Are you cool if I just leave it like this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, tell me where you think, and I'm saying if you could use your thumb, and you could just give like a thumb onto your foot, like where would it be? Like, is it a little lower than where I know it should be, or is it a little higher? Because Cairo honestly hits it a little higher. Uh,
I'd say mine's a little higher.
that's a good
Like some of my
problem.
cleanest balls, I think it's actually crazy. They could be like higher up than my metatarsal, like closer to my ankle, and I would cremate the ball, and it doesn't make sense to me.
That's
I
actually
know kicking, and I'm just like, how is this even possible?
it's actually, and again, you seem like a smart enough kid to realize that when you do, which I think you will, start flirting with the thought of being not so far, so you're a little more natural. It's you're lean and all that. So you get a tighter plant. It may slightly adjust your surface area contact. It may even be higher. Because I said
Yeah.
Cairo hits the ball. He's got this red area on his where the sock meets the cleat. You
Yep.
can
That's exactly where mine is.
you can tell like there's definitely ball contact made there. So it's not a bad thing in my opinion. I think the bad things happen when we are on the other side of things, when we are like, the slap sound.
Mhm.
It's not a deep thump. So, but I don't think you're that guy because if you're a 40 plus kicker in game in a Division One program, you're not probably getting off the toes too much, which freaks me out
Yeah.
because it freaks me out, bro, honestly, because I think that if you do have a wide plant and you are in fact getting a high contact point of your foot, then what has to be going on is you probably have to give up your torso to the ball,
Yep. That's what I
right?
was thinking when I was just explaining that, because I'm coming, what you said, more linear, and if I'm leaning over, maybe that's bringing my foot in.
Yeah. So I'm it's going to change, but it's going to do the same thing. I just want to bring your plant foot in because I know you already like to make contact high on your foot. So now I'm going to let you come in and have your torso too. And,
Mhm.
it's supplementary. It's you get your body involved, and I know you don't need it so much in field goals, but when you take this over to kickoffs, it most definitely translates. I say, and I know it sounds dumb, and I would love to talk to you about kickoffs. That's a whole nother subject. I
Yeah.
love
This is my
coaching
first year
kickoffs.
starting kickoff. I just started this year.
I think you'll like because Louis been doing it with me, had been doing it with me quite a bit, and we found his moment, like where he likes to be and where he likes to transition. And,
Mhm.
I go down to like a 2 yard, like I could tell you right now, you're 5'11", your most effective drive to get into my plant box where I want you to be, you'd probably be like all over too, like middle of your arch
Mhm.
on two. I'll show you real quick, but I'd spend a whole, I got this kid hitting 85 and he's 160. But see, I come down a plant line. Just kind of watch this. This kid's an FCS kid too. Same thing. Come down a plant. There's two. So like and he's 6'1", right? So I think that's a little deep for him. I'd want him a little more into the line. But you know how I said I'd want your middle of arch to be in this line,
Yep.
like a true two, because you get down to the floor and you store this energy in that box, and it's a tight box now. And then because I want this to happen. He does a decent job. See, he hurdles a little bit, but none of these reps I put in here were A+ balls because then I couldn't coach it. There's nothing bad going on. But if
Yep.
you look at it like this, it does not look like a bad rep. I just think that there are subtleties that could be majorly, it would have a major effect on his result. And this kid smashed
Yeah.
that day. This kid smashed that day. I did a little pyramid with him. And this ball, I mean, I like this. See, a lot of kids don't have this. That's inertia. That's stored effectively. And it only happens, in my opinion, by where you leave from right here. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of kids leave from 2.5 yards. I know it doesn't seem like much of a difference, but the adverse effect is we're suspended in the air too long. You see how he looks like he wants to get back to the floor here?
Mhm.
That I think that's where you would be your best. This kid was his best. I wish I'd have known that when I was this young, but I think it makes sense, right? Like if you crash land, it's essentially you're fighting a downswing and you're limiting the up and out with your body, and you have to have your body in kickoffs. You
Yeah.
know, but I'd love to talk to you. Do you want like I would ask this, man? I don't know you from Adam, but you seem like a person that I can trust. Do you want these? Because I'd like you to eventually simulate these motions. Like I don't know if you have the freedom in your structured practice at your school, but if you do have like free time and you want to try some drills out that are like kick specific to situations, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to share. I just wouldn't want you to share this with anybody else. Like
Yeah. I understand that.
like I
Yeah, I would
just
love it.
I think it would. And this isn't all I have, but I'll start with this and like we'll talk again. I'd love a kickoff question and maybe a follow-up field goal question, but I'll send it. And I even had your thing in Gmail already saved, but I just didn't know. And I was like, damn it. I was mad at myself for forgetting.
Yeah. It had like, do you confirm this or whatever? But there was no link, so I didn't know if you had to press confirm and then it gives you a link. But it just said confirm it or yes, you'll be there.
I thought, I was talking to you the whole time. I was still on share screen. I thought I switched it back. My apologies. No, but I'm glad you communicated because I was sitting there like, all right, well, I didn't want to be late, and because I thought for sure, and I talked to what I like about college guys and pro guys they're used to like, you better be on time. Like,
Hmm.
I learned
I
that
was sitting here since 8:15.
I learned that real quick, man. Like, and I love that about football. And that carries over the rest of your life. That's one of those things.
Hmm.
And there's many in football, but it's one of the most important things because I lose a lot of respect because I think that that's an indication that they don't respect my time either. Like, I don't care if
Yep.
I don't care if they don't respect their time. That's not a me problem, but it's a big problem when, like, especially in the middle of my day when someone's late to my shit, like,
Oh yeah.
where I get pissed, like, and I communicate it, because I would never do that to them. And if I did, it's emergency,
Oh yeah.
and I understand that happens, trust me. But bro,
Yeah. If you're 5 minutes early in college, you're 5 minutes late.
and you learn that really quick, don't you? And
Oh yeah.
someone's usually the example. And thank God. I mean, I remember the kid, uh, to this day, he blamed his dad for not waking him up. And my coach was like, your fucking dad lives in San Diego. He's like, yeah, but he calls me every morning at 4:30 or whatever it was, like, and I was just like, you just blame your dad on your shit. Like, how old are you, bro? But
Yeah.
I'm sure you hear about it.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
well, let's follow up, man. I want you to let it sink in. I'll send you the PowerPoint, and I'd like you to like honestly, like one step. If you want to show me your one step technique, I guarantee you I
Hmm.
have some thoughts.
Yeah.
I like to coach up the left arm. I think that's the most misused thing in one step drills. Because I want it in the place it would be. In fact, when I said like when the feet pass the feet, in the field goal process,
Yep.
I want you to start thinking, because that's all it is. You haven't probably even thought about it, but put your left arm in the exact body position it would be at the passing of the feet right there. Or, when the left passes right at the drive step. You want to simulate that arm timing, and you want to try to tempo it up, because if you deviate from that left arm position, you're doing a whole different kick entirely, in my opinion.
Yep.
you know so we can talk about that. You have great shoulders though, so it must be, and you have very good control over this plant side arm, because usually kids will
Yeah.
throw it up and then they'll drop this and then they'll hit that bottom right corner as a right footed kicker and they
Oh
get
yeah.
that X rotation, right?
Yep.
But you do a phenomenal job of that. I like that a lot about you. And yeah, you have good control with the backswing. You tend to want to flirt with parallel to the floor, and you have that glute activation, which I think is probably why you're a powerful kicker. I think that the powerful ones just do it. You know, they don't have to be told that. And
Yeah.
if you force that, it's kind of awkward. You know, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just like I train like kids here, and I can see a kid like right away if he can even hit from whatever, like if he even has potential just on one ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
I mean,
you can
it's
see
like the
one ball.
it's I honestly you know I know that's we're being a little harsh, but it's almost always true, right? You can tell very quickly if this is for someone.
Yep.
It's a different skill set. It really is. It's unique.
Yep.
Let's stay in touch, man. I enjoy you. I think we follow, or Twitter's good enough for me. I think we're engaged there, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm probably gonna post something. I don't want you sharing my stuff, but like
Yeah.
I'll post a moment because it's interacting with you, and I think that it's cool that these high school kids, bro, they don't value this kind of stuff. You
Yeah, they're
know, they want
stars and
all that's all, you know, but it blows my mind because I know they look up to people like you, and I guess they don't make that connection that like, oh, so he's a process person. I want to be an outcome person. uh that doesn't give the same results. Like I don't know if kids, maybe their frontal lobe isn't there yet, but
yeah,
I
I
have
literally went to 2 sailor camps and that was it.
well no you I think people like you should, if you I tell my guys too, see, and you can definitely agree with me on this one. I tell my guys that are 5-star standard, that have the means, because a lot of my parents in my programs have, they're doctors, whatever, they're blessed.
Yep.
That's good for exposure. Like a guy like you, if that got you an offer, you go. But what I get really upset with is when a kid's like, I got 3.5 stars, coach. And I hate to say it, but that is a pulse. It
Yeah.
doesn't get lower. A 3.5 in real football, like Miami will
There's
sign a
offers.
absolutely, but it's not the same thing. It's a big cattle call, and honestly, it stays alive because there's people like you that still go,
Yeah.
right? Because you'll squash 90% of the talent at those things on an average day, but you want to have
Yep.
a good day so you can be the best. And
Yeah.
I would have gone, absolutely, I would have gone. It wasn't really around just yet, but it still pisses me off that like the 5 stars, bro, they're not you. They're not Cairo. They're not Garrett Hartley. They're not Chris Boswell. They're not Caleb Sturgis. They don't even work or think remotely close to them. And
Yeah.
I want to get in their head and be like, if you really want to do this thing, if you really want to be like you or those guys, you have got to break your technique in half and upside down, and you got to be able to do like things that are critical thinking about yourself without like
Mhm.
it being too taxing on the body. You
Yep.
know, because I think I hope you have a plan in place for that. And if you don't, I'd love to talk. I mean, I have stuff on that too, where I write prescriptions for like the STCs I deal with at the college level, and we look at their like schedule, the general Monday through Friday ish schedule, and we try and draw up a script that fits you, that gives
Yeah.
you what you need without overdoing it, that monitors your kickoffs, that it takes into effect that we want some dry work. We want to film some kick specific drills like the lean and the one and the no. So I'm
Yep.
slowly but surely educating your level, and convincing them that it's not about that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk again. I'll let you follow
For
up with
sure. For
me.
sure.
I'm going to post something about us, and I'll just tag you, show you some love. And then
All right. I'll tell Adam. So I don't think he'll get mad, but
I would tell him, yeah, like,
yeah.
yeah, you might just be like, I just got off with him, and then I'll post something later or something. But it'll probably be tomorrow. But I recorded it. If you want it, I can send you that too. I don't know if you want
Yeah.
this.
I would like that as well as
Okay.
the PowerPoint. This and the PowerPoint. So I didn't
Yeah.
take notes because I saw you did that on. I don't even know what school it was that I saw that I messaged you about, but That's
Yeah,
why I
I'm glad you
figured
did,
you
man.
recorded this.
Yeah, I'm glad you did because I've known of you. Like, I don't know. I guess it was just because you're a kicker, but I want to talk to more guys like you because again, like I learned the most from your cohort, like because you guys are talented as shit, but you guys haven't figured yourself out. Meaning, like you don't know your best self yet. I
Hmm.
mean, when Will Lutz was around here, he was at Georgia State. You played at a much higher level than he did in college,
Hmm.
and he slowly but surely found it. And it was like 2 summers where he came down here with Cairo, and they had just got to the league, and it was wild to see him just like, he figured out what
Just
worked
chill.
best for him, like, but generally speaking, like I try to leave this as broad as possible, but still specific to what I think is the essentials. You must
Yeah.
have these things. Now you can deviate here and there, but if you do all sorts of bullshit, you're going to be less than your best self, you
Yeah.
know?